jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son, actions over words, baby boy, is you real or what? Talking way too much, world combat sports, talking way too much, world combat sports, talking way too much, world combat sports.
doing? WCS. Salute to everyone that's on deck, man. Hey, when I go live, those of you that's there on live, appreciate let me know about the mic or whatever. But those cats that call me, when you see me, y'all doing that shit on purpose. I know you are. I know you are now. You know what I'm saying? Stop calling me when you see me go live, man. Y'all doing that shit on purpose, man. For real. Y'all don't have shit to talk about. And just because I'm talking about your unfavorite fighter, you know what I'm saying? Y'all want to try to damn call somebody up. But anyway, peep this out though. WCS on deck at it once again, man. You know, you see the thumbnail. Big shout out to the supporters and everything. You know, in the building, Big Blunts and Boxing. Appreciate you, big dog. Getting to that money, ready for this cooking session. Cut the stove on, get the hot grease. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate that. Neezy, what's good? Neezy say 1 2 1 2. Yeah, man. They be trying to hit me up right when I go live, man. I'm telling you, you got some cats on the sneak tip. They hate us, man. They real live haters, bro. They're you know, you share your shit. Motherfuckers be calling you up on the phone like they got something to say. Nah, that ain't it, bro. But let's get to the business, man. Let's get down to Jermell Charlo, Terrence Bud Crawford. There's a lot to talk about when you list, you know, accomplishments side by side. Obviously, when you talk about accomplishments in the sport of boxing, right? We have to call it for what it is on record. The words don't lie. You know what I'm saying? The paper is what it is. The paper is what it is on record. Okay. Now I can be extremely, extremely petty, which I am, because lately we've all heard it play out with Jermell Charlo when it came to Terrence Crawford calling him out and everything. The man refuses to acknowledge Terrence Crawford as a worthy opposition for a future fight with him. He refused to acknowledge the man's accomplishments, achievements, whatever you want to call them, his accolades, on what he's been able to accomplish in the sport. He just became undisputed. Crawford's been there, done that. He's been there, done that already. So therefore, when it comes to the credential side of the house, right? Why won't Jermell Charlo acknowledge Terrence Crawford equally when he's calling him out from a lower division? Now, you're talking about these PBC fighters that has big names, right? So we look at Errol Spence Jr. and we look at Jermell Charlo. What is a familiarity with these guys? Just hold that thought right quick. Just hold that thought. I want to take y'all on a little fact check right here. Jermell Charlo started boxing before Terrence Crawford. He turned professional in December 8th, 2007. You know what I'm saying? He was already in the ring before Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford started boxing March 14, 2008, y'all. So Jermell Charlo was already on the grind in the ring before Terrence Crawford. Now, it might have been a small window, but yet it was still prior to Terrence Crawford making his debut. Now, check this out. Check this out, because this man refused to acknowledge, you know, and give Terrence Crawford his flowers. I can be petty. I can say, hey, when you make your debut, you fought a guy that was 1-0 and Crawford fought a guy who was 2-0. I can be petty like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Both of y'all fought undisputed fighters in your debut, but you fought a guy that was 1-0 and Crawford fought a guy that was 2-0. But let's get to the real meat and potatoes of this career. Bro, if you go back to where you started and you had to make a decision on what you was going to do in life. I know you campaigned at 147 in a little bit, and then you found out, no, I need to go up and start fighting at 154. Got it. But you haven't even thought, since you and your brother was able to campaign at 154 and he left to go up to 60, You haven't even thought, it never even came across your mind to say, maybe I should do a little bit more than stay here at 154. I'm 32 years old. I need to do a lot more. Well, on the other hand, the fighter that you don't want to give any credit, you don't want to highlight this man, you don't want to acknowledge him. This man has came in and he's in his third weight class. You know what I'm saying? And he's collected belts in every weight class he's competed in. You can't say the same, Jermell Charlo. You didn't collect belts in every division you can. When you was at welterweight for a brief stint, you didn't do anything. You was just there. Not with Terrence Crawford. He collected a belt, man. You know, he has more belts than you. He has more champions on his resume. He's been able to accomplish more. He moved more expedient than you did during your professional career. Now y'all both at a point where you're both champions, right? I can understand you feeling some type of way because at 54 you have all the belts and all that, right? But Terrence Crawford been there, done that, bro. Been there, done that already, bro. Been there, done that. He's been there already. He has the t-shirt. And he's trying to get another t-shirt. You just don't want him to wear that shit. You know it's gonna be a tough fight because you look at Tony Harrison, you know, a fighter that came in there that has a very astute boxing IQ, technically sound. You know Crawford is gonna be equal to better than that. Just because of what you did with Castano and Crawford are not the same fighter. So, you know, the questions has to go out. You've been at 154 forever and a day. Why would you not give Terrence Crawford a shot? If you consider him to be a light in the ass type of fighter, he's small, and you know you don't consider him to be on the equal playing field as yourself. You should at least acknowledge the man from what he's been able to accomplish in boxing, and then just say, you know what, I'll leave the door open for you, man. Whenever you come up here, let's make money together. Nope. It's not the case. Charlos ain't willing to make no money. What if we look at it this way, right? Let me get to the super chat right quick. Let me get to the chat right quick. Big Blunts and Boxing. Toby on deck. What's good? Salute WCS in the chat. Salute to everybody that's in the chat. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. So look at it this way. What if you took in consideration, Judge Jermell Charlo? You take in consideration that at this point in time, you haven't really did no crazy pay-per-view anything. You know what I'm saying? And also, you're not the most popular guy in Texas, man. You from Lafayette. You're not the most popular boxer, you know, in Texas at the moment. So what you seeing go down with Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, it doesn't have anything to do with you. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother room that you have to deal with. You, on the other hand, I believe the fight can be made. I believe the fight can be made, man, because it would look damn scary, you know, to think that if Terrence Crawford was to say, okay, I'm vacating my WBO belt and I'm moving up to 54 or whatever, however he chooses to go on his travels, right? And PBC refuses to make the fight, it's going to look very bad like it does now. It looks worse for you already because you have to be reminded you was at a point in time when you lost for the first time. Your O was gone and you was up there shedding tears. You know what I'm saying? I think I even heard you whimper a little bit. You know, it crushed you, man. Tony Harrison picked up that strap. It crushed the shit out of you. But you came back focused. You was dialed in and you stopped him. I commend you for staying the task, man, and coming back and getting your belt. But this is where it all goes wrong for y'all. You believe that it's okay for you to be in a lighter weight class and try to fight Canelo Alvarez, and you don't believe he should take the same mentality and behavior that you taking towards Crawford. Why is it such a motherfucking point to be made with you that you can call out Canelo Alvarez and beg and plea that he acknowledged your presence. Oh, I fight Canelo. I fight Canelo. But you don't want to acknowledge Crawford. You don't want to take on a challenger like Crawford coming up, who's been where you at already. He's already earned the motherfucking titles, dog. He already been there for undisputed. You ain't gonna get this man the love. He black just like you. You're not gonna say, hey man, let's fight. Let's make history. Let's make history, man. If he's too small, if he's light in the ass, if you think he should humble himself, why don't you humble him then? Make him shut up. You know what I'm saying? Make him shut up, because obviously he's did more than you. Once again, he will be in a position where he's did more than Errol in his career, and he's accomplished more than you too. So both of y'all are in the same boat. Y'all just refuse to push that motherfucker in the water and start rowing. Y'all the type of dude to show up to a pool party, man, and won't jump in that bitch. Y'all don't want to swim with Crawford, man. Y'all, you know, you say it's lines only, bro. But I'm just trying to determine what lion are we talking about? Are we talking about the show, the Wizard of Oz type of lion? What are we doing, man? What's going on? Because Crawford has did everything for you to automatically say, okay, if he want to challenge me, cool, that's a good fight. A lot of other people can do it. Once again, did you go over there, you know, being the Errol Spencer's your stablemate? Did you go over there and tell Errol, hey man, what are you doing fighting Mikey Garcia coming up from lightweight? Did you go over there in his ear and say, oh man, that's fucked up, that lightweight motherfucker coming up here trying to fight you? No. Y'all was in there discussing how much you gonna make off that shit. Errol was telling me, yeah, I'm gonna make this much money. Oh man, this is gonna be good. Mikey's happy, Errol's happy. Man, we got to get out this notion, right? This psychological degenerate type of mentality where mentally everybody else around us can have success at something. They can plan it. They can bring it up to fruition. We can see it play out, and we can congratulate them, say, oh man, that is great. This is what I thought it could be. We can see everybody else do this shit and praise the shit out of them and salute them, especially if you want to be a part of it. But yet, when it comes to us, we can't sit up here and create a forecast or plan something that benefits fighters, especially black fighters. We can't eat with one another. We can't do any of that shit. I mean, what more is it to say? We seen Errol Spence and Sean Porter fight, two black fighters, right? But Sean Porter had a belt, and they was under the same promotional umbrella. We get it, but also it also comes down to this: if you at a point in time in your career where you don't have that much time left, and you have a fighter that's qualified, Terrence Crawford is qualified to call you out from one division lower and attempt to get in the ring with you, a lot of us are going to say that fight will be good. I will want to see that fight. Why not make the fight? But you up there calling out Canelo. So what's wrong with you calling out Canelo? Why shouldn't he take that? And then you're going to have to move up a minimal of 2 weight classes, a minimal of 2 weight classes. You're going to have to go to 60 and 68. Your brother haven't even moved up to 68 yet. You're going to have to swallow that motherfucking salt tablet to move up and fight Canelo in an area that you've never been in. But yet you have the opportunity while you're the champion to make some pretty decent money and fight Terrence Crawford, man. The man has an O on his record, unlike yourself. He has more victories than you. He has more professional fights. He has more championships. He has everything more than you. Words don't lie, bro. But yet you're trying to put him off on Erickson Lubin? Why, man? Why would he have to be put off? Were you putting all those stipulations on Danny Garcia when he was moved up to 54? Or it didn't matter to you because he wasn't calling you out? He was busy over there fighting Jose Benavidez. I'm just trying to gather where your mindset is right now, knowing that you don't have long left in the sport, And then you should be trying to, you know, do everything necessary to get your ass in the Hall of Fame on the first try. But I think your content is you won all the belts at 54, and that's enough. You don't want to face losing again, bro. And that just goes to show you how much of a threat you believe Terrence Crawford is. Real talk. Call it for what it is there, Jermell Charlo. Y'all brothers have to, you know, put a cap on believing that you have an open ceiling to do what the hell you want to do. I did enough just because I did that. You know, if Terrence Crawford would have just stopped fighting and really wasn't going for titles after his undisputed reign at 140, when he won the belts and vacated and moved up, and he just said, I don't care, I'll fight anybody. I just want to, you know, take a couple about 5 tune-ups. This is a tough division, has a lot of big names in it. I just want to sit back and chill. People would have been like, man, God damn, what happened to him? He's complacent now. He's satisfied with just being a 2-division champion, and he's coming up here just to play around. No, he immediately came up there his first fight and fought for a championship belt. We can't say the same for Jermell Charlo. We can't say the same for him. You know why? Because he's still at 154, bro. And like I said, I commend the dude. Kudos to him for picking up the straps and everything. But bro, if you're not going to make any moves outside of the division, why when the names pop up of individuals like Terrence Crawford want to challenge you, you want to divert the attention and deflect and say, why don't he fight Erickson Lubin? He'll get knocked out. Now, I like the hammer. Let's be honest. I like the hammer, right? But once again, I have to get some clarification on these words, because words don't lie. People do, right? So when you look at the numbers and the words, when Erickson Lubin name comes into play, people will always remind you of who stopped him and how he was stopped his last fight. All right? They will always remind you of that. There's nothing bullshit or false about the words that people use to reflect upon a fighter's career. Now, for Jermell Charlo to bring Erickson Lubin into the equation, you have to ask yourself, what is the motive and why hasn't Erickson Lubin responded? You know what I'm saying? To say, hey, man, I can fight my own battles. You know what I'm saying? I don't need you to fight my battles for me. I'm tough. Erickson, he's that dude. I can fight my own battles, bro. I don't need you, of all people, to fight my battles. You feel me? He don't need that. And more so, Erickson Lubin don't need that shit, because he was the one that was in the ring with Jermell Charlo at one point in time. He was knocked out in the first round. Jermell Charlo now believes he can name drop a fighter that he stopped, and he never gave a rematch. He never gave Erickson Lubin a rematch, man. We see mixed martial arts all the time with champions fighting each other. Even when those champions was knocked out and they were stopped, they still allow them to come right back in an immediate rematch and fight for the title. Not the case with boxing. Jermell Charlo is a perfect poster child for that. You and Erickson Lubin is still in the same division. Erickson Lubin stepped in and tried to, you know, hand Sebastian Fundora, the Towering Inferno, his first loss. He fought his ass off. You know what I'm saying? Salute to him being as tough as we knew he was. But he lost that fight. That's still not enough for Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo look at that shit like, well, you lost again. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to name drop somebody I already stopped years ago, and I'm going to put him off on Crawford. So therefore, if Crawford goes in there and fight a common opponent like he has done it at the welterweight division, and he makes it look simple, and then he receives criticism for somebody as petty as Jermell Charlo to come up here, oh, well, I already beat Lubin. He didn't do anything, but you suggested he step in the room ring with Lubin. Why? Because you have a win over him and you refuse to give him a rematch? You refuse to give a man a rematch. He's obviously gotten better since you and him fought, but you refuse to give him a rematch. But yet you want to name drop him on Crawford as if he needs, your entry. He needs your check-in. You check in with me at 54, I'm going to tell you who you need to fight. That's not the way it's working, brother. What's going on, Don? Colorism in black community. That's what they calling it. Colorism. Man, I call that shit motherfucking shade, goddammit. I call it reverse racism. I call it, man, you know what I'm saying? You're prejudiced against your own kind. You're stopping them from earning a way of living, especially in a competitive sport. The words are nice, you know what I'm saying? Colorism and all that shit. But really, we get down to what we know from history. Discrimination, prejudice. That's what this, seems like to me in certain aspects of boxing, because these brothers refuse to want to eat with each other, but they'll sit up here and wear all the Mexican colors, man. All the Mexican colors you can look at just to try to win over the Mexican fan base. They will wear all types of sombreros, the green, white, and red. They will do everything possible to celebrate the Latino fan base. But yet when it comes to a challenger, he will be a challenger. Terrence Crawford come to a challenger that's highly qualified for the to grace the square with Jermell Charlo. He's highly qualified. He's earned everything. He can move the fuck up and make a real good fight between two black fighters, right? And Jermell Charlo refused to do it. You can't say shit about Floyd Mayweather being selfish. He ain't helped boxing, because there's a lot of other black fighters out here that's doing the exact same thing, man. They're doing the exact same thing, man. Charlos are doing the exact same thing. They're not eating with their brother. Mike Tyson said it best. If he's your brother, eat with your brother. No, we don't have no culture. You know what I'm saying? People sit up here and look at hip hop and the way we dress and the fads and everything that we come up with. Cool. But when we're talking about our own, when it comes up to these certain days, we don't have nothing. We do have some type of union when it comes to incarceration. We do have a certain type of flavor that people are curious about. All races are curious about the black race, period. But we should be curious within ourselves when it comes to allowing each other to make money. And this is not going on, especially in boxing. It's selfish. Every time another black fighter calls out another black fighter, it's controversy. It's total controversy, not just from people on the outside looking in, but we're talking about the fighters themselves. They'll sit up here, and look at all the greats give their speeches. You see all the film, and you get content creators on here talking about, oh, I know all of this about history. They fought each other, this, that, and the other. But one thing we see on a regularity right now is that when another black fighter call out another brother, a black fighter, it cannot be amicable. It's no way it can be amicable. It's always full-blown controversy in this motherfucker. Disrespect. Like you're not daring to be great. Like you unwilling to take a risk. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't need to fight each other to coexist. Yeah, we do. We both trying to be great. We both have gotten to this point where people consider us to be, the higher echelon of boxers. So we need to fight each other. No, man. No. What did Jermell Charlo? Jermell Charlo said some shit like, if Errol Spence really want the belts, I'll vacate him and he can go get them if he really wants them. What kind of selfish shit is that? I was the only one who put out that scenario. The only one. Way before Mike Tyson mentioned that shit. I was on record as saying that Errol Spence should fight Jermell Charlo, man. They're able to make money internally to the PBC. if Errol Spence was allowed to go up there and face Mel Charlo, get the belts from Mel Charlo, then have a rematch clause, and Mel Charlo get the belts back. That's 2-time undisputed, solidifies your Hall of Fame, no matter what somebody says, right? These are boxers. They know how to move around. All right. And then also it will allow Errol Spence to be a 2-weight champion, 2-weight unified champion. Okay. At least he would have earned the undisputed unification at 154 because he's scared to do that shit at 147. He don't want no smoke, man. He don't want no smoke. But at least both of these brothers could have added another medal to their breastplate when it comes to boxing. All in 2 fights. All in 2 fights. Yes, Mel would have had to take a loss. He's been there, done that already. Okay, it would have been worth it because then he'd know he's getting the titles back. Same thing Muhammad Ali did with what's his name? Same thing, man. People just want to look at it like, oh man, you asking them to go in there and not be truthful, man, and throw a fight. I'm not asking to do anything. I'm just telling you what's already happened in boxing, period. You know, it's happened in boxing. Let's not act like it's never happened before. It's happened in boxing before. But when somebody speak on it like me, you know, people want to take offense to it and be like, oh man, you shouldn't speak like that. And like, yeah. You know, arranging fights happen. It's been happening all over, bro. It ain't that different. It's been happening all over, bro. You know what I'm saying? This has been going on forever and a day. But we're just trying to get to the point, man. We're just trying to get to the point right now of why Mel Charlo refuses to acknowledge Terrence Crawford as being qualified to face him in the ring. Leon Spinks. I don't know why he slipped my name. You know, the Leon Spinks situation, man. Look how many wins he had when he went in there and won the title, and then he lost it back to Muhammad Ali. Same scenario that I was given for freaking Spence and Mel, but Mel doesn't see it. Mel doesn't see the shit. He's selfish, bro. Mel doesn't see it. Mel would rather go call and summons and plea and beg for Canelo Alvarez. You're not getting that fight. You're not getting that fight. Your brother can't even get the fight. He has 60, and he don't even want to move up to 68. You're not getting that fight. He's not coming down to 60 to appease you. You're gonna have to see him at 68. And what have you done? You've done nothing. You've done nothing. I don't have to do that. You've done nothing.
Canelo, there were reports yesterday about a Errol Spence fight at 164, and I don't know if you heard about it. Anything you want to say about that?
No, nothing. Like I said before, I don't want to do things like that, right? In cash weight 164, why me?
They're not coming down in weight, so it's the dumbest thing ever for you to try to request, for you to try to subscribe the attention of Canelo Alvarez to come down and appease you when you haven't even came close or would never accomplish what he's been able to in the sport. So therefore, I'm asking you, what's wrong with a fighter that is qualified in Terrence Crawford to move up to 54 and you all have a fight? He's already put it out there in the media, y'all. Y'all have to call that shit for what it is. It's a straight up duck, man. Duck Masters Coalition 101, bro. These dudes are sitting up here hearing somebody else call them out in front of the bright lights, in front of the lens. They're telling people, I want to fight Errol. After I fight Errol Spence, I want to move up and fight Jermell Charlo. Both of these guys are champions. Both of these guys are under the same promotional banner. It's no excuse. These motherfuckers, no excuse, man, that you can turn that down. That would give us something to look forward to in 23. When we get to a certain point, because look, I say when it comes to a division of multiple black fighters in it, we have to start at We can start a little bit at 35. All right. We can start at 35, 40. You know what I'm saying? A little bit, 47, 54. And then 60 gets real shaky. Real shaky. 175, real shaky. You know what I'm saying? Did you just look at the divisions where there's multiple black fighters really that's gaining the attention of the fans? 35, 40, 47, 54. Once again, 35, 40, 47, 54. Once again, 35, 40, 47, 54. We can't really throw the hammer down at 130 and say, let's scoop up that division. No. 4 freaking divisions. Because it's not a lot of black heavyweights. It's not a lot of black cruiserweights. You don't see a lot of blacks up there, light heavyweight. You see the ones that's at the top, the Beterbievs, the Joe Smiths just lost his title. You got the Dimitri Bivol, you got the Anthony Yard. You have all these. You don't see the multiple brothers at 175. It's done away. 60, that's a closet. That's a motherfucking closet. You got a Charlo up there. You know what I'm saying? You got a Charlo, and then you got an Andrade. Andrade or Andrade, or whatever you want to call them. It's not multiple brothers that's up there, man, trying to do something. But you can find them at the 54, the 47, the 40, and the 35. We're talking about the 17 divisions, man. We got 4. 4 subtract from 17. Let me see. 4 subtract from 17. Let me see. 4 subtract from 17. I think that leaves us with 16 divisions. Yeah. 4 subtract from 17, 16 divisions. That leaves us with 16 divisions. Yeah. Man, shit, man. I need to stop talking about that shit, though. Bruce Gas in the building. What's good? What's good? What's good with LG? How you feeling, bro? AJ on deck. What's good? He's a good fighter, but I can't see no way he beat Spencer Charlo. But it looks like he on his far farewell. And that's the good thing about being able to type. You know what I'm saying? You can type something that you have the option, you have the right to be absolutely wrong. You can type some bullshit in there, and then you can press enter. That's the good thing about typing. You know what I'm saying? It allows a mode of communication, a remote mode of communication to be seen. That's a good thing about that, AJ. I don't take it serious, bro. But it's good that you understand that I'm not petty. My people are not deleting your comment. You feel me? And you can type that bullshit in there. That's okay. It does nothing because everybody knows that you're not being truthful with yourself, bro. You can say I don't see. Well, take your hand from over your eyes, bro. That's all I'm asking you to do. Remove your hand from over your eyes. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Okay? Remove your hand from your eyeballs, and then you'll be able to see clearly. Okay? That's all you have to do. Look up on the thumbnail. You probably walked over here and you saw the crying tears and you cover your eyes up and you start typing. Remove it. Because last time I checked, Bud Crawford was undefeated. Jermell Charlo wasn't. Bud Crawford has more championships. He's been in more championship fights, man. Higher caliber opponents. He has more knockouts than Jermell Charlo. He has more professional wins than Jermell Charlo. But yet this man is saying Lubin will KO Terrence Crawford. When Terrence Crawford has had 6 straight stoppages at welterweight, but yet this boxer that's claiming Texas so hard, but really he's from Lafayette, right? He's claiming that a fighter that he knocked out will knock out Terrence Crawford because he feel like he can little boy Lubin. He feel like he has, already a notch over him. He has a win over him. He had bragging rights. So he can sit up here and say, Crawford, Lubin to knock you out. Go fight him. Man, that's the most bullshit ass move ever, bro. Who has he knocked out? What does that have to do with knockouts, bro? As we go back to the time that you faced your nemesis, all right? When you face your nemesis, bro, you know who your nemesis was. When you face your nemesis and Tony Harrison, let's always remember how that played out. You feel me? Let's never forget how that played out for you. Did you knock him out in the first fight? When you and Tony Harrison first fought, and you was defending your title, what round did you knock him out? All the way back in 2018 now. What round did you knock him out? Because last time I checked, that shit went 12 rounds. That shit went 12 rounds, bro. So all of a sudden, you fake a Jorge Cota. You get to stop with Tony Harrison in a rematch, and you face Jason Rosario, who had already been, on the slab. You know what I'm saying? When did you all of a sudden be the dictator of not who knocking who out? I'm just curious, bro. Because Nathaniel Gallimore had bragging rights over Jason Rosario. You didn't. When you did it, it had already been done. Nate the Great had already stopped the man. He stopped him. Nate the Great stopped him in 6 rounds, bro. It was already on record. When you stopped him, Jermell Charlo, you stopped him in the 8th. But yet you sitting up here trying to tell Terrence Crawford, fight Erickson Lubin because Erickson will knock you out. But I just have to refresh the memory of the listeners and say, guess what? When you was back there fighting all these guys, right? You went the distance when you lost your title. You did earn the knockout in the rematch, but you went the distance, bro. You went the distance. And then you can't brag about Jason Rosario because, like I said, he had already been stopped by Nate the Great, and he did it in shorter fashion than you did. So why are you sitting up here dictating what should happen and who he should fight and everything else? Because like I said earlier, you haven't even thought of giving the chance. You haven't even provided the courtesy. You didn't even present the etiquette of another brother to get another chance with you now that you got the belts. You're not even considering him like that. You're not even considering that man. For real. You don't care, bro. Don't take nothing away from him as a fighter, but he got to stop the antics. It's a lot of antics, man. It just seems like it's very diva type antics. We're in the hurt business. This is one of those sports that's been around longer than most combat sports. That's considered the premier, and boxing is a premier combat sport. But when it comes down to challenging the best, fight the best, and all this shit, it just doesn't happen. And a lot of times it's because of fighters like Jermell Charlo who don't want to fight individuals who's coming up and has already achieved. He know that Terrence Crawford is a tough fighter. He knows it. He knows that. People looking at him being in 54 as long as he has, him being the undisputed champion. Guess what? Just another way for me to be petty, bro. You know what I'm saying? Here it is. Terrence Crawford is sitting up here calling out freaking Mel Charlo at 54. But yet his brother, his own twin brother, is unwilling to take the same mindset of Terrence Crawford and say, why don't I call out Canelo Alvarez and fight him at 68? Why don't he just make the move and assert himself in his 168-pound division and fight somebody of notoriety? Because though he's a two-way champion, he hasn't been able to accomplish what Terrence Crawford has. But Terrence put it out there when he's not even on the brink of moving up to 54. He just say, yeah, I want to fight Errol because he definitely want that fight. And I want to go out there and fight Jermell Charlo. No, you're sitting up here acting a fool when your brother won't even move up to 68. He won't even move up to 68, dog. Canelo Alvarez, y'all dream idol that you want to fight with. All y'all brothers over there at PBC has called out Canelo. All of you all are outside the current weight class he's contending in right now. All of you all. So that means it's hypocrisy at its best that you want to call a man out that's 2 and 3 weight classes ahead of y'all for any type of money. For any type of money. But yet you criticize Terrence Crawford for doing the exact same thing you all are doing with Canelo. It's hypocrisy at its best. Y'all being hypocrites, bro. Bud a good fighter. But I can't see no way he beats Spencer Charlo. I think Mel just need to sit back and remain quiet. Like Bud said, Mel is a character. Don't take anything away from him as a fighter, but he got to stop the antics. That's what they do, man. They want to call it just antics and say this and that. You know, just like Spence was out here saying, oh, we'll give him 60-40, 70-30, 80-20, whatever we choose to. That's the problem with boxing. These zeros shouldn't mean shit. All these fighters should be fighting each other. Well, you know, the Terrence Crawford is not meaning anything when he's willing to challenge himself, not just with Errol Spence. He's willing to move up and challenge Jermell Charlo, who is the current reigning defending. You know what I'm saying? It's way more than just me identifying 2 black fighters unwilling to fight each other again. But this type of mentality and behavior is coming from the same promotion. The only way a brother's going to be able to get in the ring with them is because it's a way for something to be arranged. You know, it had to be arranged. It just can't be someone challenging, you know what I'm saying, on a consistent basis. We're talking about consistent basis. You won't see the brother get an opportunity to fight another black champion. You won't. Maybe if they don't have any belts, maybe. But how is it that Crawford need to humble himself, be quiet, be the challenger, when these same guys over at PBC are steadily calling out Canelo Alvarez? We found out 2 guys, Jermell Charlo and Errol Spence, was on a hit list, a sacrificial barbecue for 100 mil that they presented to Canelo Alvarez. That means Spence, though his gullible fans will say, well, if you look at it, he came into the sport. He used to fight at 54 anyway. Nobody's giving a fuck about what he used to do. More so what he's doing now. Canelo, when it dropped down, he said he don't have to do that. Why do I have to do that? Me? No, I don't have to do that. Why would he do that? He's successful without these guys. He's basically telling y'all, if you want to fight me, move up. Canelo will tell you straight up, straight out, man, what have you done? They can't say that about Crawford. They know what he's done. But these dudes like Errol Spence, 47, 54, 60, 68. Let's talk about the murder. Let's talk about the murder. 54, 60, 68. You're willing to go in there and cash out, bro, after an accident and fight Canelo at 68? You actually think he would move down at a catch weight for you? That man is making bags, doing what he's supposed to. Yeah, he has some down, clauses in his shit and what weight he wanted to fight. I get it. But for what y'all trying to do, we're talking about Crawford moving up 1 division. But y'all trying to go more than 1 division. Everybody besides Jermell Charlo. We had Mel. If he would just just give me 158. Canelo ain't coming down to no 158 for you, bro. Or whatever number you mentioned. He's not coming down for you. He's not appeasing you. But you know who willing to appease you, though? Crawford. Crawford is willing to appease you. He's willing to come up and fight you at your weight class. You don't have to make any adjustments except accept the fight and goddamn fight at your weight class. It doesn't get any simpler than that, bro. Don say, AJ, then why he ducking Bud? I agree. This old got MF scared to lose their undefeated record. A fighter should be able to lose 3 to 4 times without having to start from the bottom or be viewed as trash or a bum. Say it again. One more again. For real. True words. Boxing, you lose your O for some fighters now. You have to understand this blunts in boxing. You have to understand how it goes down. When Canelo lost to Floyd Mayweather, it didn't matter if he lost his O. That shit catapulted him to the highest galaxy that you can think about in boxing. And he's been up there ever since. You know what I'm saying? That's when losing your O is special, because the person that you lost it to, they was like, okay, we'll get a pass on that. And for a long time, Floyd Mayweather was the only one that Canelo ever lost to. You do hear crickets when it comes to him losing to Bivol. I'm talking about no one's really chirping on that. It's almost like it's transparent because the man was daring to take a risk and moving up to challenge someone at a higher division. Yes, he had already been in that division, but he was taking a risk to challenge a much more qualified champion. But when we talk about Terrence Crawford doing the exact same thing Canelo has been doing when it comes to Bivol, Bivol's the reigning champion up there. He gets criticized by the champion. Bivol wanted to fight Canelo, but Charlo doesn't want to fight Crawford. And Crawford's a champion. Canelo didn't come up in the 175-pound division with a belt. He had belts at the division that he's currently at right now. Crawford can do the same thing. He doesn't have to vacate. They want him to vacate. It's a lot of shit that's going on. PBC want him to vacate, but he can move up there and fight Mel Charlo and come back down, and hopefully Spence and Al Heyman has came up with a plan to say, you know what, let's make this fight happen. Let's not try to damn put this. No, man, I'm tired of this shit, dog. Civility at its best, man. Stephen Warren all over again. The Django all over again, for real. It doesn't make any sense, man. It's absurd to think that these channels want to push all this race ass shit all the time when them motherfuckers are just as racist as anybody that they're talking about. It's race all the freaking time. But yet when it comes to two fighters and they want to sit up here and separate the two fighters and pick the one that they want to support, what they do, get personal and say all these derogatory obscenities and everything else, these insults about the fighter. Why don't you just say, hey, let's push this, man. Let's push Crawford. Let's push Errol. And look, I've been on record. I said some things about Errol, but never to the point where it was personal. Like these dudes are, just making it personal, like they have, open debt, like it's an IOU. Crawford owes them money or something. They make it so personal. I don't want to use the S word when it comes to Jermell Charlo, but he seems like he's running in place, man. He's acting a bit scary to me. He's putting off this challenge off on another fighter. To me, he's kind of sunning. He's attempting to sun Erickson Lubin because he knocked him out already. That's just my take, man. Hey, you said Bud can't beat Spence or Charlo, but they ducking. Make it make sense. Make it make sense for real. You know what I'm saying? If he cannot beat him, why aren't you on Twitter or IG and you're sending DM messages, right? And you're basically trying to present that argument to Jermell Charlo and freaking Errol Spence. Just present that argument and say, listen, I just was over there at WCS and I told him, hey, Terrence Crawford can't beat neither one of y'all. But then they turned and said, well, if that's the case, why y'all ducking? And I was thinking before I even pressed in, and I said, damn, why can't y'all make the fight? Why can't y'all make the fight? They have a point. Damn, I was just thinking about that. They have a fucking valid ass point. That's what's going to happen. You should be over there in Twitter, IG, asking them, why? Look, I'm over there. I'm going to bat for y'all, man. I'm cheering for y'all. I'm telling that Bud Crawford, he can't beat neither one of y'all, Spence nor Charlo. But yet, the way the antics, like Blunt said, the antics of Jermell Charlo is nerving. It's unnerving, man. Dude, you are the unified, undisputed champion, and you're saying the man should humble himself. He should be the challenger. He should take less money. Any black man listening to you will say, damn, you are that dude that's coming out the house on the Django. You don't want any other brothers to damn ride in on a horse. Who's really on the plantation? Who's really on the plantation, man? Let's clarify it done. Is Al Heyman blocking it? Like Rick Glaser said, I think Spence wants to fight, but he can't tell Al Heyman how to move. Once again, it's a solid point, Blunts and Boxing, but I have to go back to this. Blunts. I got to keep that shit all the way. You know what I'm saying? A thou wow, bro. You remember when Spence said, we'll give him 70-30. 80-20, whatever we choose. So was Al Heyman speaking then? Was that Spence? You know, he opened his mouth and reiterated the same shit that we're going through right now. We're going through a numbers game right now. We're going through the deceptions, the numeric deception of freaking negotiation. They're pretty much saying, oh, we're negotiating just fine. It comes down to the numbers, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's agreed on this, this, and this. But they're basically trying to say, okay, with those numbers, we're gonna give you the net proceeds, not the gross, the nets. And you're not going to be able to see what the raw numbers was. But I always have to go back to what Spence said, man. We give 70-30, 80-20, whatever we choose to. Is that Al Heyman? Was that Al Heyman beside him? No, that was from Spence's mouth. He verbalized that shit. He vocalized that motherfucker. He spoke out. So I have to include him into this, that he really don't want to fight up either because of what he said. It's on record, Blunts. It's on record, bro. He said that shit. If he never would have said some shit to go along with the current that's going on right now with them trying to screw Crawford over, I would totally agree with you a thou while and say, okay, we good. But Spence came out his own mouth and then recanted that shit when he came up here and said, oh, I was just playing. No, you wasn't. That's why I tell people, Spence know what the fuck is going on over there. He said it in public. He wasn't in the PBC headquarters. He said that shit on his own accord, man. He let that shit flow out his mouth. He was responsible for saying that. Nobody ducking Bud, just people get paid to fight. Why would they duck a paycheck? Okay, so you're saying why would they duck a paycheck? Did you just hear? Come on, bro. Did you just hear what they was talking about O's? Did you see this right here? Okay, it has something to do with records, not just paychecks. Okay, people love to see an undefeated record. That's why they glorify Rocky Marciano and a whole lot of other fighters that went up here and was undefeated. Besides Calzaghe. But bro, what are you talking about? Why would they duck a paycheck? If fighters are just fighting for paychecks, they'll fight anybody. They'll become champion and fight anybody. But due to the ranking systems and the sanctioning bodies, fighters that are qualified, much more tougher opposition outside the regularity of casual boxers that's considered to just be a check. They move them into the mandatory positions so that champion can be challenged. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about this paycheck. They ain't just for no paycheck, bro. You know what I'm saying? They just ducking for a paycheck. No, that ain't the case. But ain't no big deal. That's everybody afraid of people out here trying to get paid. I would say Spence probably isn't demanding the fight. We've seen proof for years. Spence, man, he is absolutely involved, bro. He's involved. He said it out of his own mouth. If he wouldn't have came out his motherfucking mouth and talking about that 70, 30, 80, 20 bullshit, I will agree with Blunts and Boxing 100%. We ain't gonna just put this on Al Haymon because it's new and it's current information. No, he said that bullshit, and he concurred. He concurred. The same shit they trying to do now. He got 35, but we want you to get the net. Who does that slavish ass shit? Man, you know, they dogged the fuck out of Barbershop Conversation for him speaking up. You know what I'm saying? They told the man was this, that, and the other. I understand people dislike him. I understand it's not my best friend. I barely know Fred. Real talk. But I will have to say that he stood up and he started to communicate this shit. And they say he was Al Haymon hating. What about this contract, bro? Who of the last 4 opponents for Spence, when he became this so-called pay-per-view guy, out of the 4 opponents of his previous opponents, is there any one of those names that they can say, I want to be on record as taking the net profits? I received no guarantee money. Can we start with Mikey Garcia? Can we start with Mikey Garcia? Did Mikey Garcia take the net proceeds? Did Mikey Garcia take the net proceeds, man? Without looking at the books, did he get bamboozled and hoodwinked like Terrence Crawford? What about Sean Porter? You think Kenny Porter would allow that shit? Did he? Nope. We know that for a fact. That didn't happen. What about Danny Garcia? Did he take the net proceeds? What about Dennis Ugas? Why are they coming at Crawford the way they are and not even giving this man guaranteed money, and it's a bilateral rematch supposedly? It's slavish all the way through, bro. Real talk. It makes us look bad as black people. Seriously. You can't tell your boss to meet your demands, though, Don. You can work for a company 15 years. If you're not the boss, you can't go to your boss demanding shit. I don't think. Well, I disagree partially that in certain positions you really can't request that, you know, look, if it benefits the company, it's according to where we at now. We talking about corporate? Are we just talking about mid-level or whatever? You know, it's just too many variables to go into, right? But in this particular case, yes, he's the boss. But like I said, for Errol, he expressed 70, 30, 80, 20, whatever we want to give him. He said that shit, bro. He said it, man. Nobody else said it. He reiterated those words. If he never would have came out with some shit that seemed unfair for Crawford out of his own mouth. Now, we heard him duck. You know, we already heard his ducking season when they was together. He say, oh, you know what? Why won't I take the easy route? You know, we had a talk. And then Bud asked him, well, you know, did he mention me? No, he didn't mention you. That right there was telling you that Errol Spence was on fucking board. How many times this video has to be played over and over again? He was on board with what Al Haymon was saying. He's still on board with what Al Haymon is saying. Have you heard him speak up? Have you heard him just say, fuck it, I'm going against the grain. I'm standing up for myself. It ain't me. Have you heard that? It ain't me. It ain't me. It's not me, yo. I haven't heard it. So Blunts, why he the man for Jeff Horn? But when it comes to Bud, his energy change is just saying. Making some good points. Reading between the lines, Spence really doesn't want to fight. Spence is a culprit. He was a conspirator in this too. He is absolutely an accomplice in this whole situation. No matter how people want to look at it, open your ears and your eyes at the same time, bro. He is an accomplice in this whole deal too. He knows what's going on. He said whatever we're gonna give him, and then he came around. Oh, I was just joking. No, you wasn't joking. You was dead ass serious, bro. I can't say why fighter stance would change. That's a question for Spence. But I can say that I believe maybe things change. Maybe somebody from his team gave him different instruction. Hey, look, what if somebody from his team gave him different instructions? Who? Ultimately, the bottleneck goes in the same direction. The bottleneck is with who? You have to go see Al Heyman. That is where the bottleneck is at. So down, on where the conversation in sidebars and grip and grin photos and under the table handshakes and all the hugs and embraces and all this other shit that takes place, they still have to go through the channel. They have to go through the channel, the bottleneck that leads to Al Heyman. So whoever was talking, and let's just say they told Errol Spence something. You don't think Errol knows where the direction is to where everything bottlenecks into one area where Al Heyman and the big dogs at? You don't think he can go up there? Hey, I just want to talk to Al right quick. They always mention his name after the fights. What he gonna go up there and say? Oh, what somebody told him in his camp? Doesn't these individuals supposed to work for the fighter? Isn't that what was said? They supposed to work for the fighters. We all know that is absolutely bogus. These people supposed to work for the fighters. No, they ain't working for the fighters. They get paid. This is not a good look, y'all. I'm just saying you don't know what you don't know until you know it. I agree with that in a case like we're talking about. Okay, I can agree with not knowing a lot of what's going on in the higher echelon when it comes to this boxing game. But in this case, like I said before, Spence has been on record as basically talking that hoodwink bamboozle, that bullshit on record. Nobody had a knife to him, a gun, anything. He said that on his own accord, bro, his own initiative. So if he never would have said that, I would have never believed that Spence would think that Terrence should get whatever we want to give him. That he couldn't respect Terrence enough to say he's qualified to do this shit. I like how a lot of folks look at Spence as basic, but who has stopped him doing exactly what the UFC wants to do? I mean, that right there, who stopped him, has to do with basic. The two don't have anything to do with one another. A person can be a one-dimensional fighter and still continue to win. It has nothing to do with stopping him. You know what I'm saying? If he's a basic fighter who can continue to win, then we can applaud his intelligence, his ring IQ, and everything else. How he's astute as a fighter, because he's a basic fighter that continue to win. And that's a difference if he was a basic fighter that basically became complacent in fights. He lost focus. You know, he's only good for the first half of the fight, something like that. And he didn't have a good chin. I mean, the knockouts has nothing to do with him being a basic fighter. Has he taken punishment? Yeah, he's been hit a lot in certain tough fights. But I don't see it as being on the same wavelength and the point you're trying to make. But who has stopped him from doing exactly what the UFC wants to do? Who has stopped him from doing what the UFC wants to do? First of all, if you're talking about fighting champions, Jermell Charlo hasn't spoken about giving. You're talking about Jermell Charlo now. That's the only person I can think about what you're saying, because that's what I mentioned. If Erickson Lubin lost to Jermell Charlo has to try to make that fight with Lubin. You know what I'm saying? At this point in time, if you want it. But then again, he ain't never mentioned that shit. And I don't think he want to give Erickson Lubin another shot. Even when Lubin said he was ready. The nigga scared Keyshawn Davis' voice. You know what I'm saying? Hey, shout out to Keyshawn, man. He was goddamn. Look, he was wide open, bro. You know what I'm saying? He had the carburetors wide open. Keyshawn was wide open in that motherfucking dog. Shit. Look, the crazy part about it, in person, he's not like that, man. One thing I like about these black fighters, they are knowing when to turn it off and turn it on, unless they're at a press conference. He's not like that. He's very professional when he's in public. He's quiet. He's quite opposite than what he was online. But when he's online, when he's kicking, and going at somebody, that's when you get the full blown Keyshawn, bro. Bud gonna stop Spence on deck. What's good? He said them niggas scary. Keyshawn Davis voice. Now Spence said he his own boss. I heard that. I surely did. Thanks for reminding me. He did say he's his own boss. See, that's what I'm saying, man. There's cats out here that know. Thanks for reminding us of that information, bro. Spence did say he was his own boss. He did say that, right? So if he's his own boss, we should hold him accountable for the bullshit that we're witnessing right now with this damn net proceeds on the back end without seeing the books. He did say he is his own boss, right? I guess we find that, Alex, to be untrue. We're going to see. Al Heyman don't come out and speak. So Errol probably came out doing all the talking. As soon as he got to Al's office, Al said, listen, you shouldn't have done that. Hey, Al gave him that look, dog. You know what I'm saying? Al gave him that look. Hey, sit down. Shh. Sit down. Don't say a word. Listen, it's certain positions in businesses for a reason. You understand that? Shh. Listen to me. It's certain people in certain positions for a reason. You go out there in the ring and box, and you let me handle the shit right here. When you open your mouth out there, you need to make sure that me and you have talked about that. If it includes Al, hey man, you understand me? Don't sit up here and think you have the freedom to talk about shit without getting it checked off first. You understand that, Errol? Are we clear? All right, then. You was getting a little bit complacent. Think you was just running the show, telling people that you was your own boss. Nah, I'm your boss, man. I'm your daddy. I'm all of that. Remember that. Goddamn, Al Heyman gave him his speech, dog. Sit your ass down over there, man. Before I make you put your hand in the damn fish tank and let them piranhas goddamn get fed. Fuck with me, nigga. Oh, man. Damn, thanks for bringing that up, man. I wasn't even thinking in that area. Spence did say he's his own boss. He did. And just like Blunt said, Blunt came back and said, hey, man, you should have said that, dog. Hey, you getting a little bit out of control, bro. You should have said that now. When I lower my voice, when I get up over you, you shouldn't have to know I'm serious because I close distance. I should be able to talk to you from afar and have the same effect as if I was up close and personal with my finger on your forehead. Don't you ever say you your own boss again. You understand me? Yes, sir. I understand it. You're free to leave. You're free to leave. Damn, boy. I even gave him that speech, dog. You better stop. The fight happens, y'all gonna be some sad pups when Spence beat. You know, we've heard that same choir before. The strings are popped on every instrument that you seem to play, man. The guitar, the violin, you know what I'm saying, the cello. We've heard that all before. AJ over here, man, you need to come with something that's more refreshing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just come with something. We've heard all that before, man. You know, the immune system doesn't even flinch when we hear all that negative, infectious, contaminant, pollutive type material come over here on this chat. We've heard it before, dog. It'll be a great fight. The best man will win 50-50 in my eyes. And that's where me and Blunt's boxing will always disagree. And look, we good, we cool. You know what I'm saying? But I don't see it as a 50-50 fight, dog. I don't see any of it. No. I don't see it being a 50-50. And that's with open eyes. You know what I'm saying? Open ears and eyes. I don't see that shit as a 50-50. Maybe if Errol Spence would have taken his career a bit more serious before, you know, when he was coming up, before he decided to tighten up, if he would have taken his life of training just a bit more serious and wouldn't be consuming, you know, the recreational beverages and all that, and that really poisons the system. If he would have been just more disciplined, then maybe I would say, from his performances and everything, you know, it may be a 50-50, but Crawford's been making his shit look simple. Whatever adversity we may have thought he was in, he cleaned that up really, really quick, sanitized the fuck out of it. And his last, 10-11? Come on, man. He's stopping Spence, bro. He's stopping him, bro. I'm just being the bearer of good news there, Blunts. I'm just telling you, bro. He's stopping him. He's gonna stop him, bro. He's gonna put that man down, bro. It's happening. It's coming to fruition, man. Let me ask this. I may ask Rick, but does Bud being a free agent dictate this type of deal? Damn good question, bro. But you have to understand, him being a free agent doesn't mean he's just independent and he doesn't have a team. He still has attorneys and he still have a manager, obviously. So he still have a group of people that's moving with him in this deal. He's not just up there trying to handle all this paperwork on his own. That's why when the information came out and they was talking about, oh, they agreed on this, but we need them to look over this information and review this, that, and the other. That's what attorneys and everybody come in. You know what I'm saying? They're basically reviewing and scrubbing this information, checking out the language and all of it. And, you know, Al Heyman ain't no dummy. You know, top 3% of his class graduate Harvard graduate rather. You know, he knows the numbers. And just like the music industry, some of them cats come in there and they don't have nobody with them when they sign them contracts. So when it comes over to boxing, on this level, I'm gonna go on record and say it's no way that fighters that's on this level right now, like Crawford, would try to deal with this on his own. It's not. He has people that he pay to make this shit pop. I don't disagree with none of y'all opinions. I'm just trying to gather more information to help me understand all sides. I look at it like this, Blunts. I understand all sides, bro. But just because I say I don't think the fight 50-50, it's no disagreement with what you got going on. I mean, I respect when people come over here and say, okay, we're going. I don't feel no type of way about it at all. I don't, you know, my posts don't change. None of that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not getting anything. I just feel passionate about, you know, when it comes to Crawford fighting Errol Spence, I don't see it as a 50-50 fight. I just don't see it. Like, that's just my opinion, and opinions are what? It's not based off facts, right? And I can't sit up here and forecast a prediction and say, you know what, my prediction record is 100-0 right now. That's not the case, bro. Now, if I was yelling, kicking, and screaming, cussing motherfuckers out, and fuck that, it'd be a different story. He didn't mean to put UFC. He meant to put PBC or something like that. LOL, if Al Hain and PBC are in some sort of financial crisis, unbeknownst to Errol, then Errol can't blame for his talk about that's going to get paid to Bud because Errol don't control the money, right? I don't know where the separation is coming in where you're removing Errol from actually knowing what's going on. I have to continue to put this out there since it's been, it's now been, placed in the point of discussions today. Errol Spencer say he is his own boss, and I have to put him in the same position I put Crawford. These guys are in a point in their careers where they know the business. They know the business of this shit. So he's not going to go off what social media is saying that PBC is in a financial crisis and he's not going to do anything about it. Of course he's going to do something about it. Look, of course his people are going to tell him the real on what's going on. He's going to make some phone calls. He's going to get with his people. They're going to make phone calls and they're going to try to figure out how true is this? You know what I'm saying? How true is this? Yeah, they're trying to get Errol paid. You know what I'm saying? What Errol Spence doesn't control doesn't mean he's unaware of anything. Like he understands what the contract is because he's a part of the contract. If they're trying to get that man 25 million, guess what? He understands they're trying to get him 25 million. You think he's going to say, okay, y'all trying to get me 25 million. So what about Bud? What he's trying to get? Well, we're just trying to get him the net proceeds, whatever that might be. Oh, for real? How is he going to be able to validate that? Hey, that's why I tell you, let us handle that. Okay. You remember that talk we just had over there in SC? Oh, okay. All right, then let me handle my shit. But we got that. But you like that 25 million, right? Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's what it is. Errol understands what the conversation. He understands what the temperature is. He's not outside just, biting his fingernails saying, I don't know nothing about that, bro. Yeah, he do. He does, bro. But like I say, you have the right to your own opinion. Real talk. You do, man. Valid point made. You know what I'm saying? But I can't digest the unbeknownst to Errol. I can't separate him because he knows what's going on. Errol knows what's going on. Shout out NYT, what's good? He may not know every fine detail, but he knows the big ones. He knows the primary talking points. He knows what exists in the contract. He knows that numbers are a very intricate part of these contractual negotiations. Numbers. That's why he feels he should have a higher share than Terrence Crawford. Okay, done. But no guarantee money? Wow. Those numbers mean a lot. For him to get no guarantee money, why? Why all of a sudden they're restricting Crawford with no guarantee money? Wow. Numbers can't lie if they ain't there. Words don't lie, people do. Ain't no numbers there. No guarantee money, it's no numbers. It's no numbers on the back end because we can't even check the books. We just got, once again, a word, net. Oh, that net is a lie because I'm not going to allow you oversight on the books. So net is a lie. We put it out there because it looks good. It looks very bad, to be honest, but it looks good for us because we're showing that we can give you some bullshit. He said, I can't say this enough, but Spence and PBC are not comfortable or confident in Crawford fight. I agree, man. And y'all need to understand how difficult they're making it for Terrence Crawford to negotiate this fight. If Terrence is on record as saying that he is agreeing to majority of everything that they said, but he's not going to agree to the net proceeds without any type of oversight of the books. He need to know, somebody need to know what the numbers were for the night in question. Somebody needs to know. Y'all understand that shit, bro. Y'all understand how things work. But yet when it comes to these two, you can't just ignore and act like certain individuals are not accomplice. Man, they know what's going round and round. Now that the word's out, okay, how do the word get out? How did the word get out about net? Before this word actually breached from internal to external, the internal individuals knew what the fuck was going on, bro. They knew what the fuck was going on. This wasn't no shocker. Spence wasn't out there goddamn brushing his horse and say, hey man, you heard that they're trying to give Crawford net proceeds, but you know, they can't take a look at the books. No, I ain't know that, man. Oh, I just thought I'd come out here and tell you. Spence would be like, why you didn't just call? Oh, you know, I like coming out, you know, seeing the horses and the goats and cows, you know, all that. You know. Yeah, we do have internet, bro. We do have Wi-Fi service. We have satellite connectivity. We have all that shit. You don't have to come out to the property. Left my ass out. That's the convo they had. WCS told Spence, next time you go out there, I want you to make sure, thank me publicly. For real. You ain't lying, dog. Al Heyman be running down the drills on these cats. He be running down the drills. He be giving them the paperwork, dog. He be sliding that paperwork. Look, Al take that paperwork and slide it off his desk and shit. They have to catch that motherfucker before it hit the ground. They read it. Al sitting back in a high back. He got that high back. Any questions, nigga? No, sir. No, sir. No questions, sir. No questions. Now I must refresh your memory so we don't have this misunderstanding anymore. Anywhere that they put a mic in front of you and you sign to me, I better damn well hear, thank Al Heyman. You understand me, man? It seems like you're getting a little bit ahead of yourself. You know what I'm saying? You done picked up 3 titles. You think you know, running shit, nigga. Nah, I'm running shit around here. Anybody do an interview with you. Before that interview ends, you better tap them on the shoulder. And by the way, I'd like to thank Al Heyman. Without him, none of this would be possible. You understand me? All right. You dismissed. You dismissed. Al Heyman said he's the big fish for real. Al Heyman. Let my Al the real big fish, motherfucking killer whale. He is, dog. Al Heyman is the big fish, dog. He's the one that's goddamn dangling shit out there, man, for fun. You know what I'm saying? Al on the big ass yacht. You know what I'm saying? Swimming around that motherfucker. Man, Al is the one, man. Spence might be his own boss on his property, on his resident. If he want to go over there and kick a goat in the ass, he can. But if that goat named Al see him, that goat gonna come over there and look at him. Hey, my fault, Al, man. My fault, man. I ain't mean that, man. I forgot you was even out here. God damn. Where you come from? You just came out of nowhere. All right, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh my God, he named the goat Al. That motherfucker came out of, he kicked that other goat. The Al came out of there. That goat walked up, didn't say shit. Errol started apologizing to that. Damn, man, I thought you was gone. I thought they'd cook you, dog. Hey, to keep it real, that's probably Al Goat for real. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have a farm, nigga. I'm gonna put some livestock out there for me personally. All right? That's how I get down. Every time you see my goat, you better treat him like he a direct reflection of me. You understand that? If my goat tell me some bullshit happened that you did to him, it's gonna be all hell, nigga. I guarantee it. I'll be talking shit. I'll put livestock out there. My goat better be the healthiest. God damn it, he better be the loudest. When you know I'm coming over there, you better have him groomed, combed, brushed, fed, all of that. Oh man, he say the truth is the free agent is Bud, and being a free agent will make him his own boss, right? Hey, we can assume that shit, Blunts. You know what I'm saying? We can assume that that is the case all the way from start to finish. A free agent is one that is without a promotion set, right? He is not signed with a promotion. But yet, as we all know it, there's individuals trying to get this man to sign a slave deal with the master being black. You know, we must continue to reflect upon all the negativity that was circulating about him being over there at Top Rank and whatever was going on and all that. And then when he left, there was still criticism, and now it's still the exact same way when black people are trying to put this man in a contractual deal that doesn't meet the requirements that we see when fighters are signing to fight one another. This is something new. This is not new for the right reasons. This is all brand new for the wrong reasons. You know what I'm saying? This is new for the wrong reasons. This is becoming a part of the boxing annals for the wrong reason. Because if they're not able to make the fight, everybody who ever talk about Spencer Crawford is always going to give him the same treatment that the legends was giving him at the Hall of Fame. They're gonna say, "Hey, we was up here saying that Spence would have beat Crawford. Crawford would have beat Spence, right?" And then they're gonna say the reason why the fight didn't happen was because of PBC. Period. Now that's the only time you're gonna hear somebody say Spence beat Crawford by mistake, because that's just what I think it will be. But Crawford, the legends know that Crawford takes the sport serious. They know that he's a much all-around better fighter. For Spence to sit up here and say F all of them, okay, they hear you. It's all good. But now, what do you have to say about boxers who stepped in the ring and looking at this contractual negotiation as being bogus? Like, damn, dog. Hello, no, it's all love. Ain't nothing wrong with this screen. Yeah, bro, for real. For real. Everyone see that Bud gonna beat him. That's why they act the way they do. Shout out to Sir Senior on deck. Yeah, man, they know what it is with Bud. They know what it is, bro. They know what it is. But let's not forget, right? The WCS did send this out to Terrence Crawford and twin Charlo to put it out there. Crawford, a chess master. I don't see this as 50-50. You need to bring more than work rate. Yes, sir. I just look at other variables that supersede that of Errol Spence. I do. I see other variables that basically counteract, what we've witnessed from Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? I won't say Errol Spence a basic fighter. You know what I'm saying? I think he's very limited. I think he works with what he has. You know what I'm saying? And look, being one-dimensional, people will tell you all the time, is how you delegate those dimensions, that one dimension, those skill sets that you're using. You know what I'm saying? If they're one dimension, it's all about how you delegate them. You know what I'm saying? You can change in between, the way you delegate, but it's still being a one-dimensional fighter. You do the same things over and over again, but at different times. You know what I'm saying? You go to the body here, you go up top, uppercut. You don't really do anything magical. You know what I'm saying? Like it was said before, you're a flat-footed fighter, bro. You know what I'm saying? You don't really switch it up. Like, we're going to have to see how you fight off the back foot. We'll have to see how you fight on the inside. I for sure understand what you're saying, OG. Unique Don, what's good? Tuned in. Salute to you. Hey, TJ on deck. He said, Al Heyman said, I'm pinky, nigga. Say a motherfucker. Say a one more. I say, nigga. Did you hear what I said? Didn't I say thank Al Heyman? Yes, say one more motherfucking word. Goddamn Pinky, nigga. Pinky asked you the question. Jerry Carroll Juice go off. Shit. That's a classic, dog. That's a motherfucking classic, dog. Real talk. That's a motherfucking classic. I ain't gonna lie. That shit's hilarious, bro. You know, you asked the question and then turn right back around. Say one more motherfucker. Oh my God. That's just hilarious. Hey, it is what it is, though, when it comes down to, you know, informing the listeners, you know what I'm saying? Like always understand it's opinion based, but there are facts in it. Okay. Opinions can be based in the same sentence or the same setting with facts. That's basically somebody speaking on a fact and they're giving their opinion about the fact. You know what I'm saying? I know when you look at the term opinions, it's not based off facts or whatever. We understand that, but also opinions can be blended in with facts when someone's trying to express themselves. You know, you can express yourself off of pure fact, you know, and give your opinion. But in this case, it's just a whole lot going on with Mel Charlo, like I said earlier. I just look at him as being very theatrical, a diva. You know what I'm saying? He's been a diva at the wrong time. We don't need you to be a diva right now when it comes to making the big fights. Now that division he's at is very, very loaded. It's very loaded division. I'm not gonna lie. That division is very, very loaded, yo. But it would be good for you know, Jermell Charlo, being he is a name. You know, you have to understand that Jermell Charlo, Terrence Crawford been on the pound for pound list forever and a day. That doesn't do it for you. That doesn't do it for you, brother. He's been on the pound for pound list forever and a day. That doesn't do it for you. I mean, they finally put you on the pound for pound list. You came in the sport before Terrence Crawford did, and he made it on the pound for pound list. He even made it to his championship before you did. He earned his first championship before you did, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really should take that in consideration of the achievements he's been able to put away in his boxing career. You came in before he did. You're behind him on the pound for pound list at the back door. So when it comes to y'all just basically, you per se, just ignoring that fact of what Terrence Crawford been able to accomplish, it's really showing that you selfish individual. You don't care about, you know, eating with another, you know, fighter like Terrence Crawford that has the credentials and the qualifications. That's what it boils down to, bro. So, you know, I'm not going to keep y'all extremely long. I got stuff to do for sure. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate everyone that pulled up, especially Big Blunts and Boxing the GOAT, man. Appreciate you pulling up. Neezy, Sir Singing, NYT, you know what I'm saying? AJ, Bud Gun Stop Spence. I like that. I like that. Yeah, all y'all that pulled up, appreciate you. And once again, man, we'll see how shit play out. It's the 1st of October. You know, we heard what Mike Carpenter said the other day. You feel me? And people can take it wherever they feel like taking it. You know, they can say who they don't like. Y'all, you look, when y'all hear these insiders come out here and drop info, well, guess what, man? You have to take it for what it's worth, man. Like, stop saying, oh, well, we can't believe that. They continue to put these guys in positions to drop the info. They're not getting their info from us. They're receiving their information from other connected people that's dealing with this situation personally. They're physically connected to this situation. So We need to get out of saying we don't like them. They full of shit. They don't mean no, man. They on ESPN. ESPN. A lot of people tune in. Millions tune into that ESPN, that network all the time. You know, so that's the way we should see it. It's not just them creating material and just making up shit, bro. But hey, y'all hold it down, man. Turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports and continue to support the channel. Hit the like button out the door. And man, enjoy your weekend. I'm out.